coming in right now on Daybreak. So let's get it started. All right, folks. Here it is. Got Creator.Prime right here. Currently one game ahead in this best-of-3 series in the round of 8 of the TSL4 Korean qualifier versus his opponent that's going to have to pull something a little bit fancier out of his hat. It is the one and only MVP.Sniper in the purple trunks, playing Zerg to the northeast.
And this is going to be a more difficult map for Creator. He's definitely going to have to pull some magic out like last time we saw just now. Because on this map, if you think about the main base and how far away it is from the third base, Mutaling style is amazing here. Roachling is great here too. And Immortal play just gets... It's too immortal. It's slowed down. Sentries are slow. Immortals are slow. Colossus are slow if you try to take an expansion play. And to be honest, I don't think he will take an expansion play. Like a slow, fast third. He may actually try a 2-base all-in again.
Yeah, he might, and indeed, why not? That's actually something really common lately from Protoss. There's been all sorts of interesting all-ins coming off of 2 bases, and recently we've seen a little bit of criticism leveled towards players that have been doing that. Mana actually used a lot of 2-base all-ins against Zerg in the DreamHack, which he ended up winning quite recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's an all-in. You know, everybody hates all-ins, but if it works, then people are going to use it to win. Especially man who's trying to win a DreamHack Finals, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it may work here. But the thing is, he has to be so diligent with his scouting. That's something that has to come out well from Creator if he wants to try something like an Immortal play, because you need to know that your opponent's going Roachling. Because, like, Damaga, for example, when Mana used Roachling again, or when Mana used an Immortal push against Damaga, Damaga didn't use Roachling. He went Massling, Bailing. And, of course, it doesn't work out here. So, Creator has to pick the strategy, pick the tactic, and use it wisely.
Oh, Nexus first coming out right here from Creator.Prime, knowing that, honestly, having seen the pool at that timing, yeah, he can get away with it. Daybreak is a deceptively large map in that it looks smaller than it really is.
Yeah, and now we see there's no pylon bot because he does go Nexus first, and he's absolutely going to take it. I mean, like you said, it's a lot bigger than any other map, really, in the map pool. And with a second pylon down too, that means he can continue to chrono boost into his probes to get a really solid economy, and then we'll after add the gateway on, who's just doing it now. So that's absolutely a good start here by Creator. Everything's going to plan. Let's see if his opponent's going to do anything funky, because now he can actually throw down gas. He could do something crazy, or he's just going to go into, of course, a normal third hatchery.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see. So far, we haven't seen anything too crazy out of Sniper as of yet. He may be confident in the macro game. A lot of Zergs are on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if his opponent tries to play macro, of course Sniper will try to do something. He'll take 3 bases, he'll go 4, he'll try roach drops, he'll go straight to hive. There's a lot of different options for Zerg, to be honest, and we are going to see that third base go down for Sniper here, who takes it at that 3 o'clock position. So now we actually need to see Creator go out again to scout, so that will probably come with the Zealot. You can't play blind to, does he have a third or not, because you can get all-in, and a player like Creator is probably good enough not to just do that and make that mistake. So the Zealot that will probably follow the gateway shortly will most likely shoot across the map if he doesn't send a probe.
Yeah, I don't really see why not. We've already got Lings just patrolling around the area, seeing if they can catch a probe, and that's actually a very common route on this map. A probe will often go the low road, avoiding the Xel'Naga towers, and actually try to get a pylon near the Zerg's third base. There's already Lings patrolling there to prevent that from occurring. That will often be the route the Zealot goes as well.
Yeah, and that's probably where it will go. The Zealot's about to pop out now. We'll go to the Xel'Naga tower and clean it if there's any Lings there, and we'll most likely just shoot straight to that third base. Creator, though, now with the Cybernetics core down and researching Warpgate, can also now start to choose his plan and strategy. Does he get +1? Or no? Look at that. Now he's chosen to go Stargate play.
That's totally legitimate, absolutely. It's a decent map for it, honestly. Once again, you can go around and attack the third base from the lower. There is a void area there that you can retreat into, which is something that you don't see an awful lot on maps in the recent pool. A lot of the older maps had these really large areas of dead space around the bases, which allowed for easier air harassment. That's been cut down a little bit lately, but as I said, that third base is harassable.
Yeah, it is, and to make it more harassable, he's actually chrono boosted out the Stalker, so the Stalker's actually joining the Zealot here, so the Zealot and Stalker will be a nightmare to actually deal with at the moment, and then the Void Ray being chrono boosted out will join the fray eventually, so nice little play here by Creator, forcing pressure on his opponent who's feeling the heat already, being 1-0 down.
I saw some really nice micro, actually, by MVP.Sniper, who was able to take out the Zealot, taking bare minimal losses. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have an answer to the Stalker as of yet. The Zealot is gone. Now we've got Sniper moving into Scout. He's actually going to see the Stargate just as the Void Ray pops out here, so it's not the ideal timing for him. In fact, actually, he doesn't see the Void Ray at all. It went in the opposite direction.
Yeah, but he knows he's playing against a Stargate play, so he can add on an additional Queen, which he's doing. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter that much if it's a Void Ray or Phoenix, and he most likely knows it will be a Phoenix. I mean, Void Ray, sorry.
He certainly knows now.
Yeah, he's absolutely. The Overlord's about to go down, so knowing that that's coming, he'll most likely want to add on another additional Queen and maybe a Spore Crawler, but one thing he can do is make drones, because he knows that the money is in the air, not the ground.
That is very, very true indeed, and he's already doing that. Also going Lair, throwing down the Evolution Chamber. Right now, he's got to rely on Queens alone, but that's not really all that difficult. You can do that. It is only a single Void Ray followed by multiple Phoenix. It can get a bit tricky, but we'll see which base. He's actually going to go for the main here with this Void Ray, which is a nice play, simply because expected that he'd be going for the third, so that second Queen actually ended up down there. Now going for the drone harassment here with the Void Ray, and the Phoenixes will come over momentarily. In fact, there's one hovering down the bottom here for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's just looking around, to be honest. But that's actually really smart to go with a Void Ray to the main base instead of the third, because he probably expected his opponent to have Queens and Spore Crawlers on the third, because everybody goes to the third, so Creator goes to the main. And the follow-up behind this is going to be Robotics Bay while taking a third base, which is really, really smart. You know, expecting his opponent, if he wants to deal with this pressure well, maybe he throws down a Hydra Den. But one thing for sure, he is going to be on the defensive foot, so why not go for Robotics Bay and tech up to something really powerful and take a third base?
Absolutely, no question about that. It's a pretty solid idea, and at the moment, it seems to be working out pretty well for him. 6 Spore Crawlers were thrown down here for Sniper, so it's already caused a fairly extreme reaction, and Roaches and Infestors on the way at the moment, and Roach Infestor really isn't an answer to a big Colossus play. There's a quick lift here on the Queen, picking that one off, losing a Phoenix for it in the process. Probably worthwhile, though.
Yeah, and it's so smart to do this. I mean, he's picking up Roaches and even getting another one there too with the units he has on the natural. And he's expecting the Infestation Pit to follow down. The Hydra Den is very unlikely, but at the same time, there is a little Ling run by on the natural, but it's not really going to do anything.
No, it isn't. And actually, that Evolution Chamber is a great risk of going down here. The Void Ray's got good focus fire on it. If the Queen tries to get in range, it'll just end up getting picked up. And now it's going to go down. He's actually going to lose the +1 just before it completes.
That sucks. That's as much as I'll say it sucks when that happens.
Ideal.
It's like really, really bad. And he knows about the Infestation Pit too. Oh no, he doesn't actually. No, he didn't get that with the Phoenixes, excuse me. But he can expect it to be coming, which is of course a great reaction with the Colossus too. And right now, his Creator is controlling this game. He's got a third base up, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. He sees units walking across the map, and he's already got units waiting in every single, ramp, every single location.
Well, there's no answer to Colossus at this stage. I mean, Roaches and Lings are not going to do the job, I'm afraid, especially with sentries with plenty of energy to trap them, make sure they don't get in close at all. There's already 2 cannons at the third base. It seems like he's got this entire thing on lockdown, and we're going to have to see something a little bit special here from Sniper to be able to deal with this, putting a lot of gas into Infestors as well, which is going to make getting a decent Corruptor count pretty difficult.
Yeah, this is really bad. Now he's got double Evolution Chamber to get 1-1. Creator's in a great position at the moment. He's got a Twilight Council to continue his upgrades. He's adding on Immortals because of the Roaches. And all he has to do is sit on 3 bases and defend. And build up a big, big army, as easy as that sounds, and then look to take a 4th base in the center of the map. And one thing that's really nice with the Void Ray still alive is Creep Tumors goodbye, because he has observers all over the place, and that's pretty frustrating for any Zerg.
Yeah, it's damn infuriating, and he's even using the Phoenixes just to whittle down the Roach count. Why not? Why not? They were charged pretty damn fast, might as well try and use the lift on something, and it continues to give him excellent map control. He also knows about this 4th base coming up in the center, and once he gets that Death Ball up to the kind of size that he wants, he will no doubt roll out and try and take it.
A really early hive here, considering the pressure he's been under, and he's also got a Baneling Nest too, so most likely is just to go ahead and build an Ultralisk Cavern, which is actually really smart against Colossus play. Considering that a lot of money's in the air, he's now got Colossus on the way. That's actually really smart coming out from Sniper. Will he have the time necessary to do that? The Void Ray, is it going to go down? One more Fungal, and yeah, it will go down if he just goes in one more time.
I'm very... Okay. I'm kind of surprised that... I mean, maybe he just wasn't controlling it, but he actually went forward. He could have retreated that Void Ray. He could have kept it alive. The Festas were far enough away, but hey, he loses it anyway. But yeah, an Ultralux cannon, as you pointed out, is an interesting choice, especially considering what Immortals would end up doing to that, but he only has one Immortal out at the moment.
Yeah, and Creator, with the observers, sees the hive finished. He knows it's done. He can start to put pressure on the map while taking a 4th base as well. And everything's available to him. And actually, no, we will build the greater Spire here. And I guess that makes perfect sense as well, considering he had the Spire down too. Both options are great. But already, the reactions there, the Fleet Beacon, the Templar Archives.
That's some interesting timing there, actually, from Creator. I mean, he hadn't scouted the Spire at all, but he knows there's a hive, and he has to make that assumption. It's like, well, is he really going to go Ultra? Well, no, he's more likely to go Broodlord in this situation. So we're looking for the Archon Toilet setup already. Yeah,
and, you know, he's got such an easy 4th base. That's the one difference here from Creator against Sniper compared to any other Zerg vs Protoss, is Protoss has been able to expand freely, no harassment at all. And now that Sniper's building an army, he's got way too many Lings for a late-game army, so he may actually try to take a fight to wear his Lings down, maybe send a counterattack or something, but he needs to get rid of them for the Broodlords, absolutely.
Yes. Well, it's especially up against Colossus and Templar. Needless to say, there's going to be Archons, but even then, you know, Archons rip through Lings, Colossus rip through Lings. It's just not an option for him at the moment. And he is almost maxed out, at least he was. He's actually sunk a lot of his supply now into Spine Crawlers, getting rid of some of those drones, taking them down to 67. 6 Broodlords now up, looking to secure a base here for Creator, unfortunately blocked off by that single Zergling there. But is there an opportunity here for Sniper to actually do any damage with this 200-200 army?
And look, he's actually getting rid of some of the Lings, but at the same time, he's going to cross the path of the Warp Prism. And he sees it, and the Warp Prism is headed with a Zealot and a Mortar, but at the same time in the center, whoa, be careful, Sniper, that's a very, very weak army you have right there, sir.
Really, really is. He doesn't have an option there at all. The 4th base is cancelled up to the top. Is there any response ready? This Warp Prism is going into a fairly dangerous area, but it should be able to drop. Oh, maybe not. Here come the Lings, and I wouldn't want to put an Immortal into the middle of that, and he gets gutted for his trouble.
I should run to the middle. If only Stalkers and Colossus had Stim, he'd run to the middle right now because everything's out of position. But it's not going to really work out. The units will get back in time. There are 3 sentries. Weirdly, I have no idea, but they're in the bottom right, hugging a hatchery. Don't know what they're going to do. They're going to tickle it to death with a feather.
Yeah, something along those lines. Well, you know, they kind of thought of doing the job, I guess, but maybe not. We've got the Warp Prism now moving down to the bottom here as well. A second Warp Prism. Interesting upgrades coming in here as well. We actually do have Protoss Air Weapon level 1.
Yeah, we're going to have carriers eventually come into play. They are coming into the metagame a lot, actually.
They are, against Broodlords, definitely.
Yeah. But right now, Phoenix is still alive, which is really nice, but he doesn't want to throw them... Well, actually, maybe he does want to throw them away. But actually, they'd be pretty good, actually, to help out alongside the army later on, but I guess he's content with losing them. Goodbye.
Well, I mean, the main problem with Phoenix is that they just do bugger all damage to armored units, and the Broodlords and Corruptors they take too long to go down. It's not that efficient, so I suppose when you're this close to the supply cap, you just got to be really careful about what you do with your army.
Ooh, Zealot warping down here, and
nice.
Well, it won't last too long, even though they're upgraded with +3 attack. Few too many units, but at the same time, he is moving in the middle, and he's going to creep. Can he get a position? He can no way engage there. Like, no way. So we have another Warp Prism going at the top right, and also another one at the bottom right. So this is going to be nice, because he can get the Greater Spire. Actually, he's probably aiming for the Greater Spire with that main base Warp Prism.
Yeah, I have to wonder if he can actually get there, though. He's warping into the main base. He'll probably just take the pool out, I think. And that's exactly what he's going for here. The Warp Prism down the bottom is actually going to be used as a reinforcing pylon. For a small amount of pressure, he's going to send in a number of Stalkers, a Colossus, and an Archon down to the 4th base right here. As a Roach counterattack comes in on the 4th of Creator as well, but that should be a fairly easy cleanup. Here comes that push. The spawning pool is actually saved, but he's trying to pull the army apart, and he actually takes the 4th base out with great ease.
Yeah, that was really easy, and he doesn't mind losing this army either. You know, he can lose the army, no problem. He's got 5,000 minerals and 1,500 gas in the bank, so he actually doesn't care about this as long as he slows down the Zerg. But the Zerg does have a lot of money as well, 4,000 and also 2,600 gas, so a lot of money in the bank. But +2 attacks is coming in, and the beautiful thing that we're seeing from Creator is he's not building the carriers right now. He's actually saying, well, carriers are really, really strong. when they're really upgraded. But if I build them now, that takes up my supply. I can't do things like this, and they'll die really, really fast. And now we're actually seeing the catapult, the graviton catapult come into play. So that absolutely confirms it indeed. And that's going to be a little twist in the story, considering there's very few corruptors, 4 alone. That's it.
This is an interesting move. There's the additional Stargates going on to make this actually work. So I have seen this before, very recently actually. IPL TAC, the exact same thing happened. Liquid Hero tried to pull this off against Creator.Prime's... Yeah, in fact, Creator.Prime's teammate, it was Anion Prime he tried to pull this off against. It made the game last a very long time indeed, but I think the point that was made in that game is that carriers they're kind of a surprise. You know?
Yeah.
When you unleash the carriers, you've got to do a lot of damage then and there, because the longer the game goes on, the less effective the carriers actually become.
And that's why, I mean, we see the spawning pool go down and also the bottom right base go down. And there is something I want to bring up after, but we can talk about this for a second. And that base does go down in the bottom right. But what I wanted to say is there was an Overseer, to back up your point, scouting around the main and natural, looking for additional Stargates in case he needs additional Corruptors. But he didn't see anything because they're all on the third base here. So yes, it will be a big surprise. And the one thing that will help out is the Infestors. But he's only just now researching +2 missile attacks, which will increase the Infested Terran's damage output, but that's a long way away.
Not only that, but notice what Creator.Prime is actually doing here. He's using Zealots to pick off Infestors. He killed 2, he feedbacked another. He's wanting to drain that Infestor potential so that these carriers will have the maximum impact when they come in.
Absolutely, and it's working out really well for him with 6 carriers being made at one time, joining the mothership as well, which is at full energy. So he will have 2 Vortex available to join the 6 carriers, the multiple Colossus as well. He has Storm available. He's building the weapon. He is building the Death Star to fight against the Broodlord army, and it is about to work. It
will be quite operational when your Broodlords arrive. It will, and honestly, I am rather worried here for Sniper. He doesn't have anything to deal with this. He doesn't have a clue. More Broodlords being added. He's bringing in the Ultralisk Cannon as well. A spawning pool was picked off, so he's having to replace that as well. And when these carriers hit, this is gonna get messy.
Yeah, now the Stalkers in the bottom right do get cleaned up, but now the Broodlords are putting the pressure back onto Creator, saying, hey, if you're going to do something, funky with your money, then you can't just sit back and let you do it. So he takes out a base in return.
Well, there's the carriers
revealed. He knows about the carriers, and now he immediately has to start building Corruptors, otherwise he will lose this game. But he only has 10 supply spare, so he either has to just make Spores and Spines to lose it all, or he has to sacrifice units. And he's actually choosing to build Spines at the moment on that bottom right base.
Yeah, and is now adding a bunch more Lings to the mix. The Colossus count is still at 2. So those Lings aren't going to be doing a huge amount, but this engagement is... I can't see this going well here for Sniper. We'll see, though. Here it comes, and a Storm goes underneath that as well. A Storm support, allowing for fantastic zoning here. We got Sniper pushed back once again already. The Corruptor's now coming into the mix here, but more Storms dropping below. The Overseer's taking a lot of damage here as well, and the Carriers unleashing their full fury right here upon MVP.Sniper.
All he has to do is just continue to fight, and he's doing well so far. Carriers still remain. Neural comes in to grab one. Vortex comes down, and one carrier does fall, but there's so much remaining.
Oh, and that Vortex was good as well, and into the breach they go, throwing Colossi in there as well. Once this pops out, this is going to be comical to say the least, and here it is. Not a lot of Archons in there. The Corruptors, the Broodlords all caught underneath it, and the supply cut plummets. GG. Nicely played.